Ho, we are live. Good evening, and welcome to a special live stream from the Trash Picture Show. This is one that I've wanted to do for a while. I've only gotten around to finishing the series there last week, and that series is Batman Cape Crusader. Now, in order to discuss this, because this is a fucking deep cut series that is fantastic. It's Bruce Timm, it's Matt Reeves, it's Ed Brubaker. If you haven't heard of Ed Brubaker, he's written some fantastic comics, and he's also Joey. He's a crime novelist as well, if I'm not mistaken, right? He does kind of hard bitten crime novels and like I think
Yeah,
he
he
does.
does. He does like it's called a crime noir stories, and one of my favorite ones by him is Incognito, which is a great book. He just and
That's a wicked fucking comic.
and he had a great run on Captain America also.
But I need to talk to I need to talk about Batman, and I needed someone who knew fucking Batman inside out. And this is where Brooklyn Joey comes in, because the fucking man is a scholar when it comes to Batman. Joey, you tell us a bit about yourself and how you feel about the series, and you have a couple other things. I think you want to do a shout out to someone as well while you're here.
Oh, thank you, Martin. Thank you for having me on the show tonight. I really appreciate it. And I just want to do a quick shout out to my girlfriend Angela. She's like the nicest person I know, and she's a big part of my life. And I just want to say hi to her. And for me, I grew up in Brooklyn, New York. I live in Albany, New York now, and I've always been a big, huge movie fan, TV shows and superheroes, and I love to collect. And Batman is my all-time favorite superhero ever since I watched the 1966 Batman rerun show when I was a kid. And so it's been just Batman. And any kind of Batman story or book, I always have to check out because I fell in love with the character, and I don't want to miss anything that he's in. And when you told me about, I never watched the series until you told me about it, and I crammed all the episodes in a weekend, and I fell in love with the series because you told me about it.
It's a kick-ass series. So obviously it's Bruce Timm, and a lot of the DNA is from the classic 90s Batman animated series. Everyone fucking loved that show. That show was amazing. That was a landmark. That showed that fucking kid shows weren't just toy commercials, although Kenner did do a bunch of action figures for the show, but it was really well written. Resulted in a bunch of spin-offs, the Superman series. You had Justice League, you had fucking Static Shock. There was an entire universe thanks to Bruce Timm and that original Batman series. And some of the animation style definitely has its roots in that, and some of the characters. Also, before she fucking castrates me, hello, gorgeous. Jen is in the chat. She's saying hello to us both. So yeah, so what you have here is, I think, a passion project from Bruce Timm, who wanted to do something a lot more gritty and a lot more mature. As myself and Joey were discussing this before, and Joey rightly stated that this is not something you will see on the Cartoon Network. Also, Horror Cat Dads in the chat. Batman the Animated Series. That goes without saying, Larry. That goes without saying. Yeah, no, the new series is fucking awesome. So you have Bruce Timm behind it. You have Ed Brubaker, Matt Reeves, who is the director of the new Batman movie, and for better or worse, J.J. Abrams. As I said before, a lot more gritty. And while the original animated series had a very kind of Americana 1940s aesthetic, it dipped into certain kind of elements of contemporary society, where this one seems to be set squarely pre or post World War II. Maybe I'm wrong. Joey, what's your initial thoughts on Batman the Cape Crusader?
Well, I think you nailed it. The 1990s series was definitely kind of a 40s style. This one, it kind of at times it reminds me of the 90s series, but then if you look back at the old Batman serials from the 40s, it had that kind of flavor to it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot grittier than the 1990s series. It was a lot darker. And I think one of the characters that really stood out to me was Two-Face. I love this portrayal of Two-Face because he was no saint. He had his issues, and you saw that in the series, and they got Diedrich Bader to voice Two-Face. And if you know Batman, Diedrich Bader did the voice of Batman in Batman Brave and the Bold back in 2008. And I thought he did an outstanding job as Harvey Dent and then Two-Face. I fell in love with the series from the first episode. Now, when I first saw the Penguin as a woman, I was like, oh boy, how am I going to like this? But then they made her so ruthless. And, when she's trying to kill her sons, I was like, wow, you're not going to see that on a regular cartoon, a mother trying to kill her sons. So as each episode progressed, I just got more and more hooked and invested in it, and until the final episode where I was like, wow, now I can't wait for season 2, especially after the episode 10 left off.
Yeah, we'll get to that, but one thing I had to give them props for is they didn't bust their load. They didn't fucking shoot their load off. We didn't get Joker. This entire series went without fucking Joker appearing, and like I think a lesser confident creator would have been like, we need Joker. We got to put Joker in it. Joker, fucking Heath Ledger's Joker, fucking Jack Nicholson's Joker. We got to put some kind of Joker in this. But they didn't. They didn't feel the need. They had confidence in the writing enough to allow the story to progress without going to the golden goose that is the Joker. As Joey was pointing out, there is nods to the older kind of golden age and silver age comics and the Batman serials. The Batman, actually, brass tacks, Joey. Batman, both aesthetically and voice actor wise. What's your thoughts? What did you think of Hamish Linklater? Because a lot of people criticized his portrayal. I liked it, and I'll get into that. But what was your thoughts on Linklater voicing Batman?
Well, I'm glad you said his name, because I probably couldn't pronounce it that way. But I thought he did a very good job. It was kind of like, now, for me, Kevin Conroy, the late, great Kevin Conroy, is no longer with us. So I thought he was the best actor ever to voice Batman. But this guy, he kind of reminded you of Kevin Conroy a little bit. He had the darkness, the broodiness of his voice. I thought he did a hell of a job with this. I was very impressed by him, and I just, as it being Bruce Wayne, trying to the happy, carefree bachelor, womanizer, and then he's the Dark Knight, and he's the Cape Crusader, and he's calling Alfred Pennyworth. He's even cold to Alfred, and so I thought he was very good. I think everybody that they got to do the voices was excellent. Even Cedric Yarborough, who played Rupert Thorne, and a lot of people gonna know him from Reno 911, played Officer Jones. He's a big black guy, and he's doing Rupert Thorne. I thought everybody that they cast to do the voices was absolutely perfect. I liked everybody that they got. I mean, it was totally excellent, the casting.
It was like, my own impression is people were like, oh, Linklater's Batman is very wooden and stuff. No, the thing is, he's not wooden and stiff. He is, as Joey pointed out, he's very cold. He's very distant, because the cool thing is we get to see, we obviously don't get the staple of seeing his parents be killed, but we see the aftermath. And usually in the comics or the animated series, he's crying. No, he is just there, and this child is fucking traumatized. If ever they were to capture a fucking juvenile Bruce Wayne suffering from trauma, they fucking hit the nail on the head with this. I mean, he's not crying or anything. He's just saying, I don't know. And then he wakes up in the middle of the night and wakes up Alfred and goes, I'm going to make him pay. And this is a child who has grown up and detached themselves from humanity. As Joey said, he's not calling Alfred, he's calling him Pennyworth. He does not, his defense mechanism is not to connect with anyone. He has stepped back. Hey, Tiffany, how you doing? He has stepped back from humanity and kind of built up a wall. And then when, as Joey said as well, when he's doing the Bruce Wayne persona, it's all it's all different fucking it's all different kind of cue cards of the Playboy fucking list, right? It's like he when he has to infiltrate the Penguins kind of yacht, he climbs up and he goes to Barbara. Oh well, it's not a yacht party until someone falls in, and she's like, "This is fucking Egypt." And then a bunch of women come over. Bruce Wayne, is that you? Well, it's not a yacht party until someone falls in. Again, it's really fucking cool to see that this is literally a persona, because you always get the feeling there is a bit of Bruce Wayne, that there is a segment of Bruce Wayne that's a genuine kind of playboy, but this is a total facade. Yeah, Tiffany, she was introduced in the original series. She's reintroduced in this, and they change her. I have a problem with the change, but it's not what you think, because it looks to me they were trying to make another character or combine her with another character, and we'll get to that. But yeah, I liked Hamish Linklater as Batman. I thought he kicked arse, and I think it's very unfair to say that he was wooden. I think it was just he's that detached. I don't know, Joey. Maybe I'm fucking making a mountain out of a molehill here, but am I over analyzing the character? Or do you think I'm kind of or have you a different opinion on it, sir?
No, I think you're spot on. For me, Bruce Wayne is the disguise. Batman
Yeah,
is who he is, because Batman is what he wants to be all the time. Bruce Wayne is just gets him through the day, and But I thought he did a great job. Like you said, when he fell off the yacht, he's kind of clowning around. He spills a drink on himself.
yeah,
He's put on this because you're not going to ever think that Bruce Wayne is Batman, because Bruce Wayne is this carefree guy that only cares about himself and money and partying, and Batman is the justice, the revenge, the protector of Gotham City. So I didn't think Wooden at all. I thought he was perfect. The way he portrayed Batman.
yeah. Again, it's good. The Rogues Gallery is really interesting because they introduce kind of classic villains, but also introduce relatively new ones. I was a bit disappointed with the introduction of one villain, because I love that villain and I'm a big Kevin Smith fan, but we'll get into that. Joey, bar Batman, who were your favorite characters from this series?
Well, I gotta say Harvey Dent. I couldn't wait to see what he was going to do next. I thought he was phenomenal. At times he was crooked, maybe corrupt. Then all of a sudden he wanted justice. He was arrogant, but then when he became Two-Face, you saw how he was. He really wanted to do good, but he just couldn't control his temper. He lashed out. He was violent. So I liked him a lot. I like Rupert Thorne. I always like Rupert Thorne. Anyway, since the comic books, I like how he's just cold and calculated. Also, Barbara Gordon, I loved the Barbara Gordon. I thought the actress that played her, was great. She was just spot on too. I liked Commissioner Gordon. I also loved, and I also like for a little bit Eel O'Brien, the reporter who becomes Plastic Man later on. I liked his character a lot too.
Yeah, was he the guy who fucking he made a crack about Bruce's mother going down an alleyway, crime alley with the pearl necklace, or was he the one that Batman needed to get info off?
Yeah, he was the one that took the pictures for Batman. And he said, "I got you in there roughing up the
Beating
cops."
up
He
the
says,
cops,
"Don't."
yeah.
Yeah, he says, "Don't worry about those pictures. Just print the ones you took." So I like his character a lot too. I always like those shady photographers, like the paparazzi, but this is for the paparazzi. I always like those shady guys will do anything to get a story, anything to get a picture.
The cast, like the characters are brilliant, and the characters are brilliant because there's a brilliant voice cast, as you pointed out. There is some fucking major voice acting veterans, but there's also actors, legitimate kind of like Hollywood stars in this. For example, The Penguin is voiced by Minnie Driver. If you've ever seen the movie Good Will Hunting, she's Matt Damon's girlfriend in that. And then you have Christina
Circle of
fucking
Friends.
Ricci. Oh,
Yeah. Oh,
sorry.
yeah. Well, you brought up Minnie Driver. She was also in this movie called Circle of Friends, which is a very good
It's an
movie.
Irish movie, yeah.
Yes, I brought it up for you.
But the I thought Christina Ricci was brilliant as Catwoman because she's like, again, they do the whole thing. But the cool thing is, whereas there's always the dynamic of 50% she wants to fuck Batman, 50% she wants to fuck over Batman. This is more 30% she wants to fuck Batman, 70% she wants to fuck over Batman. And like she's got the cost. What era is that? A golden age costume or silver age, Joey? The purple costume with the cape and stuff. Sorry.
Yeah, that looks like a golden age costume to me. I like the golden. I know the costume she wears today, the black. Let Michelle Pfeiffer kind of made that famous. But I like when she kind of had the purple and the green and the mask like that. So I'm pretty sure that's a golden age costume by Catwoman.
Yeah, it's kick ass, and like she gets jealous of Batman's car, so she has to make her own car, and then oh yeah, Larry, you're dead right. Gross Point Blank, she was brilliant. I forgot about that's one of my favorite movies.
Oh,
Jesus,
I
I'm
love
getting
that one
fucking
too.
Alzheimer's. I'm getting fucking Alzheimer's, guys. But yeah, no, she was great, and like the fact she had the panther as well. She was just all fucking. She was all glitz and glamour, and like a kind of Veronica Lake kind of femme fatale. She would have been the guy
Oh,
who screwed over Bogey in one of the fucking noir movies back in the day. But I thought she was great. Ricci, hopefully she'll come back. What did you think of Ricci as Catwoman? Did she do a good job? Was there anything she could have done better? Was there anything that you thought was good or nuanced or?
I thought she was the way Catwoman's supposed to be. She's sneaky, she's flirtatious. You don't know if she wants to kill him or just have sex with him or not. But I like I like the chemistry between her and the maid. How she kept telling the maid to do this, and they had no money. And at the end, when she needs to get bailed out of jail, the maid says, "I took the money and the paintings and I sold them all," and she was out of there. But I thought she was spot on too. I thought. Now Christina Ricci's a very good actress. She's been in some big movies, like Sleepy Hollow. She was great in that. So I was very impressed with her. I thought she did a nice job.
Like again, I like the costume. It is a nice throwback to the kind of the golden age Batman. And now I'm going to discuss a character who I love, and much to the annoyance of Jen. I am a big Harley fan, and so the redesign with Harley, I love Jamie Chung, the actress Jamie Chung, fantastic actress, absolutely knockout looking chick, and she's really good voice actress as well. So they've decided to make Harley Asian American in this, and I don't have a problem with them making Harley Asian American. I have a problem with you could have kept the character's design and portrayal and turned her into Punchline. Why deviate from Harley and then put the framework to make another kind of notable version of that character? Well, I know it's not the same character, but Punchline is essentially a kind of newer version of Harley. Like I did appreciate the fact that they're trying to acknowledge as well that she's more of an anti-hero. The fact she's only preying on fucking these dickheads and she goes back to save Barbara. I do like that. But I'm like, and it's not a racial thing, guys. I have no issue with them changing her to an Asian American. My issue is you've just turned her into fucking Punchline, which is an already an existing fucking character. Why not just make her Punchline? I don't know. Joey, am I fucking ranting here or am I explaining myself? I don't know if I'm
No,
kind of.
I mean, like, everybody's entitled to their opinion. I can see where you're going with that. I the character was definitely dark. When she had all those people in their own little private prison and
Yeah.
in glass cases, and she would she bribed the one guy with pudding to beat the guy up with a hammer or a stick or whatever that thing was, and then they have had a she had a kind of like a romantic interest with Montoya, and then she was best friends with she loved Barbara Gordon, and she went back, like you said, she went back to save Barbara. So, and at one point when this was a good scene when she was hanging off the cliff, and Barbara's got her by the hand, and she says, "Let me go. I'm not going back to prison." And Barbara just wouldn't let go. But I thought what I agree what you said, but I did like the character itself though, because it was she was kind of like crazy, but not, and she was kind of good, but not.
Nah, yeah.
So, and
I
when you could be interesting and unpredictable, that goes a long way with me.
my thing is, it's like if you're trying to do a new interpretation of the Riddler, but you change the design, and they're like, "This isn't a fucking Riddler; it's the Mad Hatter." Again, I'm not saying that I'm pissed about changing her nationality or anything like that. I'm just saying why you changed her, but you changed her to the point where you've made her look like an already existing fucking character. And again, have you come across Punchline in any of the comics or anything like that? Yes, or any of the newer
Uh,
stuff?
I haven't read any of the newest stories in a while. I mostly read the old school stuff. But I am kind of like a traditionalist. I kind of like believe you shouldn't mess around with costumes. That's just me. I mean, if a character's supposed to be wearing green and yellow, don't make the character to wear purple.
Yeah.
That's just how. Yeah, that's just how I am. And I know if I stay on the subject, I can end up ranting and raving about it. But
You and me both, brother.
yeah,
You and me both.
yeah. Then
Um,
so, I mean, I do like tradition. I like just don't mess with a costume. I can see tweaking a little bit here and there, but not totally changing it.
again, it's it, I it's just you've changed the character, but you've changed the character into another existing character. Hey, Lamona, how you doing? Um, but no, bar that, I did like her. I thought Jamie Chun done a great performance. The costume took a while to get used to, but
Yeah.
it's just like I could see her coming back as Punchline in the next series. I don't know, maybe Nightfall. That's a great story. That is a fucking cool story. That's the one where Bane fucking breaks Batman, right, Joey?
That was the big story. I think that was 1992. That storyline came out, and there was a big lead up into that, where Batman was taking a beating physically and mentally up, and then leading up into a Bane. And I still have those comics somewhere. They're my they're safe, but they're in my room. And I remember they had a big story, they had different story chapters and everything. And I never forget when he picked up Batman and he just broke him over his knee, and I couldn't believe that, because you had never seen Batman in that kind of weakened state before. I mean, you've seen Batman beaten up or wounded, but never crippled.
That was another thing I liked about this show as well. Batman takes a fucking licking in this. Like, it isn't all fucking smooth sailing. Like, usually in a lot of Batman stories and Batman comics, sure, he's mortal and you do see him, but he gets bested by some fucking just regular fucking ground level crooks. Like in that last episode, one lad like busts a fucking 2x4 across the back of his head, and if I'm not mistaken, doesn't Gordon have to fucking save him? Gordon, I think, shoots the guy before he can kill him.
Gordon saves him, and
Yeah,
he also got beat up by the Carney people.
yeah.
And he even makes a joke. Yeah, I got beaten up by the bearded lady.
Mhm.
So, but that's what I love about Batman. He doesn't have superpowers like Superman, or he doesn't have a superpowered weapon like Green Lantern. His power is his will to get the job done and his mind, because there's nobody smarter than Batman. He's like 5 steps ahead of everybody else. So he's got the unbreakable will, and Batman will fight anybody to get the job done, and that's what makes him a hero.
I like again. I like the fact it's also worrying though. It's like, yeah, he's in the Justice League, but he also has countermeasures to take all of them out. And what was it again? I was watching one animated movie, and he goes, "Oh, you've got all these countermeasures to take us out." Superman system, you got all these countermeasures to take us out. Well, what about taking you out? Well, the Justice League exists. Obviously, fucking not. Obviously not. If you fucking there's no countermeasures for Batman. You're fucked. Oh, were you going to say something there, Joey?
Oh no, I was gonna agree with you. If Batman ever went rogue, I mean, how would you stop him? Like if he had everything to stop you, and like I said, he's obviously the smartest guy in Justice League. So who would stop him if he ever went on a? That would be a great Batman story. What if Batman went bad? You know that would I would pay to see that.
We've kind of got that with the bat who laughs, but just to see a normal Bruce Wayne. I suppose the other thing you could do is like look at Injustice because he's had to take on the Justice League in that. But
Yeah.
Joey, what was your favorite episode from the series?
From a creepy standpoint, I like the Night Ride episode with the ghost. I thought that was good, and of course the last episode I really loved that one. Because the chemistry between Harvey Dent and Barbara Gordon, and you got Flask and Bullock. Everybody's out to get him, and that the scene where he's got one of Rupert Thorne's men tied to the chair, and he burns. You don't see it, but you know what happens. That scream that actor who played the Rupert Thorne's man. That was chilling the way he screamed like that, and Batman looked up, and it was too late. I kept thinking that Batman was going to break in and save him in time, and but no, he
didn't.
died.
I was shocked by that as well. He's like, okay, it's gonna, but Batman looks up, sees the flames, hears the scream, and then sees Harvey driving away. And he's like, okay, everyone in there is fucked. There's no point. I'm going after Harvey. That's what I kind of liked about it because, like, you know. It's fairly fucking. There is some gruesome stuff in this, and like you know, there's it's fairly violent as well. Like the scene where they put out the fucking hit on the episode where they put out a hit on Gordon. I don't want to say which Gordon, but they put out a hit in Gordon, and Onomatopoeia turns up. Bit disappointed by his portrayal because he's a great fucking villain, and I was a bit bummed out. But yeah, no, that was a great episode, the last episode, and it was real crime centric as well. It wasn't like fucking gadgets and gizmos. Batman just had to use the fog, go in, and fucking beat your shit. It was pure pulp. It was pure pulp adventure. It was the fucking obviously Batman's influenced by the Shadow and stuff, so it just felt very pulpy that one episode. And like you said, Ed Brubaker, crime writer, very kind of crime noir.
Oh yeah, like I said, he's one of my all-time favorite writers. And that scene where Batman's using the fog, and the only weapon he's got really is the batarang, and he's using that. But I also like the characters Flask, and I'm always a Harvey Bullock fan. I love his character, and him and Flask together. I mean, I would have loved to have seen a spin-off of those two guys, or a prequel. When did they turn crooked? You know how they turn. You know, I would have loved to have seen that.
I was shocked because I thought like something was going to happen that like Bullock, because we're so used to seeing. Yes, Bullock is a bit of a fucking. He's a bit of a bent cop, but there's still like in the Batman the Animated Series, he's still an okay cop, but in this he's fucking crooked to the core. So I was expecting him to fucking, I don't know, save Jim Gordon or Barbara or something, or pull the gun on Flask, but he doesn't. I was like, were you shocked by the fact they kept that? Like Flask, I wasn't surprised by it, but were you shocked by them making Bullock kind of a crooked cop through and through?
Yeah, I was kind of shocked because in the 90s series, they had him like where he's not a fan of Batman, but he's still a good cop. He might be lazy and opinionated. But the part that shocked me and like when Batman picked up the gun, and I was like, oh my God, because you don't know what's going to happen these days. I'm like, is he going to kill Flask? And then when he fired the gun a bunch of times and Barbara Gordon ducked, she lowered her head. I was like, wow, is he gonna kill Flash? And then obviously he didn't. But I was like, well, that would have warped my mind if Batman would have killed somebody in this series.
In the really early pulp comics, didn't he actually use a fucking gun? Someone told me that he
He
used
did.
a gun.
He carried a gun, and they quickly changed that because that was different times. And you saw, I've seen reprints of the old comic. He was packing a gun. He had a holster on his back belt, utility belt.
It would just like, I was kind of expecting it. I don't know. I thought it might have fucking shot Flask in the leg or something like that. Just fucking, even then that would have been shocking. But no, I think its roots at a crime noir level was true and true. But I did like the incorporated supernatural and science fiction elements into it. They brought in fucking Papa Midnight from fucking Constantine. Papa Midnight from the Constantine comics turns up.
Yeah,
that was cool. Sorry, Duke. One.
I was gonna say I love that scene in the cemetery when he possesses Alfred and they're wrestling and Alfred's telling Batman to kill him, and of course Batman's not gonna kill Alfred, but that scene was just intense, and the settings, it was definitely the creepy and the spooky factor was definitely there.
It was a really cool kind of creepy episode and a throwback to more kind of darker pulpy stories, and there's also great humor in that episode as well, where Lucius Fox is talking to the owner of the manor, and he's like, "First thing I'm doing is tearing down this fucking manor. Please do." And then Batman gives the gentleman ghost to Papa Midnight, and he's like, "Oh, so what are you going to do with him? Do you really want to know what I'm going to do with him?" Not really.
Probably. Yeah,
Probably not.
that was a good scene.
But I'm trying to think, was there anything that kind of you didn't like with the series?
Trying to think. Like I said, at first, I when they made the Penguin. Now, I'm not a male chauvinist, but like I said, I'm traditional. And when they made the Penguin a woman, I was like, oh, why'd they do that for? But then you kind of like, you saw how she was, then you kind of got used to it. Like it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
It wasn't a big deal. Because I said I grew up watching Burgess Meredith as the Penguin on the reruns of Batman. Of course, Danny DeVito, and then they had her in Minnie Driver, and she was very good. And I love how she was like, everybody loved her. She was a singer and she was an entertainer, and But I thought that was so good when she found out that her son. Well, she thought the wrong one, but she thought her son betrayed her, and she killed him like that. And she did it kind of in a gruesome manner when she,
Yeah,
I don't
just
know if
fucking real cold-blooded, fucking stuffing him into the case and drowning him. And then just so that there's no absolute chance of you thinking, oh, maybe he might have survived, it has Batman's sub going underneath the fucking iceberg lounge ship, and there's bunches of cases with skeletons hanging out. So it's like, yeah, no, he's fucking dead. He's dead.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
no fucking... He didn't escape off screen. He's dead.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that was so cold. How she, and at first you thought maybe she was gonna like, maybe torture him or beat him up or something, but to actually stick him in the thing and you see the watery grave, and he just disappears below the dark waters.
That was cool. I was kind of the same as you. I was like, okay, is this going to work? And it does work. It's like, it made me think, it was like, oh fuck, is the female version of Penguin more vicious than the fucking male version? Like,
Could be. I don't remember the Penguin. They always made him kind of like sometimes kind of like comedic
bumbling.
at times.
Kind of,
Yeah,
he was dangerous, but he was bumbling. He was like kind of. But this chick was just not having any of it.
Yeah, she was ruthless. She was not bumbling at all. She was smart. She was conniving. She was dangerous.
But you overcame that kind of you overcame that kind of initial issue. Was there anything else that you were like, ah, they could have done this better, or were you happy out from the get go with everything?
Well, I knew when I saw the people associated, of course, Bruce Timm, that's Mr. Batman, Ed Brubaker, J.J. Abrams. I watched Lost and I watched Fringe. So Matt Reeves. So when you put all these people together, you knew it was going to be really good. And I didn't have, I can't think. I'm trying to think. I can't think of any problems um, that I had with it. I mean, the stories were very good. They were dark. Um, I like it the very end where they gave an ode to the 1992 Batman with the when Batman's on the rooftop and the lightning
Yeah,
bolt, and everybody who watched that show knew what that was. But I can't think of anything offhand that bothered me or I didn't like. I just I binge watched them, so I was watching one after the other, and I was just like I was into every single episode. So I really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to season 2 already.
yeah, no, that was it was a cool way to end it. I think it was little character issues again, stuff with Harley because I have a soft spot for
Yeah,
Harley,
yeah.
and the other bit is um onomatopoeia. There's like onomatopoeia. If you don't know who onomatopoeia is, he is a Kevin Smith creation. He started off as a baddie in fucking Green Arrow, but they realized this guy is too fucking good. So they brought him over to Batman, and he's essentially a lunatic, a sociopath who hunts superheroes. He's not an assassin per se. He's just a really proficient psychopath, and he mimics words that he hears or sees. And like there's a bit where he tortures this female superhero, and it's heavily implied that he does some stuff to her, bar torturing her. And like he turns up, he gets one over on Batman a couple of times, and he nearly kills the Joker as well. And they they turned him into a two-bit hitman, and I'm like, you could have done better. You could have done. This guy is a sadistic, cold-blooded serial killer who the fucking Joker. There's a brilliant bit where onomatopoeia comes in disguise, and the Joker looks up and looks at him, and he's like, "Oh fuck, this guy's sick. This guy's sick." The Joker is like, "This guy's fucked in the head." And you know, if the Joker is saying this, you know that this guy means business. But they turned him into a two-bit henchman, and I'm like,
Wow.
I don't know. Hopefully they bring him back and they change him. He was in the Widening Gyre, and what's the other fucking Batman? I can't fucking think of it now, but it'll come back to me. Definitely got a feel as well of Long Halloween of the series. If you
Oh,
haven't read Joe Loeb's or Jeff Loeb's
Jeff
Long
Loeb.
Halloween, yeah, I'm always fucking dyslexia, man. I can't fucking pronounce names half the
Well,
fucking.
he's a great writer, and he had also had a great run on the Hulk. I know as a Hulk writer too, but he's another guy. When you see one of his books come out, you got to read it because you know the stories are going to be phenomenal. But the Long Halloween is definitely one of my favorite all time books. Of course, with the Dark Knight and the Dark Knight Returns. I got to ask you a question. Is there a character, a Batman character that you want to see that hopefully comes in season 2 or beyond? Is there a character that besides Harley Quinn, but is there a character that you really want to see?
I'd love to see what to do with Victor Freeze.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, Mr. Freeze.
if they do something, because um there's a fucking Batman comic I'm reading at the moment that has him as a Nazi war criminal. That he learned,
Oh
he was a scientist. He worked with Joseph Mengele, and that's how he knows how to do all this shit. And it's like that would be really cool to make him that kind of character. But I know I'd love to see, because up until a point he was a really kind of weak, silly character until Batman the animated series like kind of set the benchmark for reinvigorating these characters, because I don't think the idea of his wife needing to be saved was introduced until that series. Maybe I'm wrong, Joey. Maybe what the whole thing with Nora, was that before Batman the animated series, or was that?
Well, I'm trying in this series. I don't know if they had her dead already. I can't remember in the Adam West series, but I know in the '92 series when they had Michael Ansara play Mr. Freeze, that was the main thing, and I think that's the first time. I could be wrong, but that's the first time they really got that, made him a sympathizing
Yeah,
character because of his wife. He was that was the love of
he
his
was just
life.
trying to save Nora. He was trying to save the woman. Fuck it, even for all its fucking issues, Batman and Robin tried to emulate that, and that was one of the better things about that fucking movie. Jesus Christ, Batman and Robin. That's another thing
Schwarzenegger.
we have to have. You're not putting me in the cooler.
But
But
I gotta say, Arnold Schwarzenegger was a great choice, though. I mean, who else were you gonna pick as Mr. Freeze? But for that movie, at least.
I don't know, man. All those fucking one-liners. Chill out. But no. Again, that's it's fun, and you know what? If you're gonna do a fun movie, you're gonna get an actor like Schwarzenegger. Who would you like to see turn up in the next series? Hello, Strange Monkey. What Batman character would you like to see that we haven't seen yet turn up in the series?
Well, for me, there's only one character I really want, a Deathstroke. I'm a Deathstroke fan. I don't if you I gotta figure if you never seen Deathstroke, this is him right here.
Hold on a minute.
Uh,
Deathstroke the Terminator.
yeah, I love that character. He's I love anybody that's like an assassin or a mercenary,
Mercenary.
like yeah, like
Yeah.
a Deathstroke or Deathstroke. Deathstroke is one of my favorite characters. Period. I love that character.
Joey, I didn't realize Deadshot was in this until they fucking till I watched the end of the episode. Deadshot, they went with the original thing of just him in the fucking suit, just
Yeah,
rolling up trying to shoot fucking Gordon. I'm like, that was fucking Deadshot? What?
yeah. His name is Floyd Lawton.
Yeah.
You know, and I like his character too. I mean, he's the character that never misses. He's the ultimate assassin. He gets the job done. He's that kind of like Bullseye from the Marvel universe.
Hmm. But it was just funny because they obviously went with the then time period kind of costume of like just a blue suit and a big fucking wide brim fedora. And for all his hot shit, is it Barbara or is it fucking Montoya that ends up fucking shooting him in the arm or something? It's just funny. That's like so if they put Deathstroke in this, they're gonna they're gonna have to do something with his costume. I'd say they're gonna have to make it period accurate.
Yeah, unless they make it like he's like I guess a genius and he created something. I mean, in the I mean, in comics you could do anything, or in anime you could do anything. And but I mean, like I would be curious if they keep it on a 40s style period, what he would look like. So I'm hoping they do something with them, or if not, bring back Deadshot, and because I think you can do more with Deadshot maybe than Deathstroke. So, but I want to see one of those two guys in there, because for me, when Batman's up against like the best assassin or the best mercenary, I think I'd rather see him fight one of those guys than the Mad Hatter or the Riddler. You know, that's just me.
Yeah, with characters like that, he has that with them. Whereas it's about survival and technique when it comes to assassins and mercenaries, I think.
Yes. Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I'd be interested to see what they do with the Joker, because we got a bit of a tease at the Joker at the end. The
Do you know
voice is
who's?
a bit weird.
Yeah, you read my mind. Do you know who's gonna voice the Joker in season 2?
No idea. Hold on, I'll just check here. Um, I'm trying to see. They don't. I can't seem to see a name for the Joker. Fuck it. No, no names. I
Yeah, well,
suppose the one.
it's definitely not gonna be Mark Hamill, I guess.
No, Mark said he since Kevin is dead, he's not doing. He's done
Yeah,
doing Joker. His kind of heart was broken when Kevin died, so he can't do it. Um, I did like Clayface. I did like what they did with Clayface, and the fact as well the Basil Carlo, which is a nice reference to Basil
right.
Rathborn and
Boris Karloff.
Boris Karloff, and even his face looked kind of like Boris Karloff. I think when he was in.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. He did with the kind of like the droopy eyes,
Mm,
and yeah, but that the 1990s Clayface, that story, their stories were kind of similar in a way, except in the 90s story, he used a face cream that kind of screwed him up, and this one he was experimenting on. Now the one guy experimented on Clayface in the Cape Crusader, he reminds me of the makeup guy from Universal Horror, Jack Pierce, who did the
yeah,
Wolfman and all those
that was
characters.
probably deliberate. That was
Yeah,
hey, Crypt Six TV. Um, I liked as well that they kind of made him more phantom instead of this big hulking kind of mud monster. They turned him into essentially the Phantom of the Opera, or
yeah,
like the fucking unknown soldier or whatever. Again, very pulpy, especially when Batman is fighting him on the castle set with the fucking sword. That's my favorite episode, the episode with Clayface, because that is out and out pulp. What did you think of that episode actually?
I love that. I was about to say, I love anything pulp. I mean, I love the
Mm.
pulp serials, the radio shows, the magazines. So I love. I can eat all that stuff up. I could watch this stuff all day, and I love how they put Basil, Carlo, and because he took two, and Basil Rathbone and Boris Karloff. I absolutely love those guys. So to put that in there, and there was a twist. When you thought Carlo was dead, but he wasn't really dead. It was the scientist that was dead. So that was a twist. So, but I liked the episode a lot too. It was definitely fun how they did that. So I thought that was excellent story telling.
It kicked arse. It was my favorite episode. An episode I still kind of liked, but probably the weakest was the carnival one with the vampire girl. And I didn't like how why has Leslie Tompkins all the fucking orphans that Bruce is gonna fucking Carrie Kelly, Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Stephanie Brown? Yeah, Stephanie. They were
Yeah,
all it's like it was like Leslie would fucking flip out if she says, "Can you look after my children, Bruce? Don't give this man your children. He'll turn them into fucking soldiers." I don't know. I thought that was a bit silly, but well, what was the weakest episode for you? And not that it was bad, not that you thought it was bad, but you thought like if the series could have done without it, or were they all solid gold for you?
well, of course they weren't all. But if I had to pick like the weakest one, you put me on the spot. So
Sorry.
prob, probably the Catwoman one. Even though I liked it, but I thought
Okay.
that might have been because I like when the episodes are dark, like dark, and that episode wasn't dark. It was kind of fun, and so I mean I know Catwoman's got the huge following, and I do like Catwoman too. But out of all of them, I thought that for me that might have been the weakest one.
Okay. Again, you're right though. Do you know what, Joe? You're right. Out of all the ones, that one didn't feel like it had as much jeopardy as the prior episodes because, like, it just it was flirtation. It was
Yeah,
foreplay. It was this
yeah,
foreplay back and forth. I mean, the only time there's any real threat is where fucking Selena gets shot and Batman ends up saving her by beating the shit out of Bullock and Flask. But that's about it. There's no real kind of jeopardy per se in this episode.
Yeah, so that's why I picked. I'm not saying it wasn't a good. It was a good episode, but it just like out of the rest of them, I just like when it's a lot. The story's a lot darker. Like the carnival one, that was a dark episode. Like when she was sucking the life out of the kids and everything. So, and then she killed her own brother.
That was good. That would like when she broke down, when she realized she killed her own brother. That was a good episode. And fucking Carrie Kelly going, yeah, fucking let her die. She fucking nearly killed my friends. That
Yeah,
was
like
episode.
yeah, he said he was like she's a monster, and so yeah, that was a good episode. But I mean, but I gotta say for the 10 episodes, like I said, I binge watched them. I was going boom, boom, boom with them, and I couldn't wait to watch the next one. So and they're not the 25, 26 minute episodes, and they went by quick, and I was like, wow, it's almost over already.
So if this came out in physical media, Blu-ray or DVD or whatever, definite purchase for you.
Oh yeah, it's gonna go with the rest of my Batman collect. I got Batman stuff over there, and so it would definitely go when I would definitely get it as soon as it comes out because it's Batman, and you try to get everything that Batman does. Now the only thing that I haven't watched with Batman was the newer movie. I told you this before. The guy from Twilight. So for some reason, I just couldn't bring myself to watching the guy from Twilight play Batman. That's the only.
I'm not going to bullshit you. He is good. He is good. It's a bit slow in places, but he actually is the better part of it.
Okay, well, I mean, I don't know. For me, because I'm not a Twilight guy, so I don't know. Maybe I'll check it one day, but I just when it was coming out, someone told me to stay away from it because they said, "Oh, you'll complain about it." So, and I can be a little ranty and raving sometimes with certain things. But someone will say, "Joey, shut up."
Not my channel. You can fucking talk as long as you like. Film is okay, but too dark. And the one said it's pretty decent. Yeah, it's good. The cast is all solid. It's just they make Batman a detective, but they also go into kind of more. They go very cerebral with it. Speaking of collections and stuff, Joey, is there anything you want to showcase while I have you here? Is there anything that you want to? What's the one thing you've wanted to show off that's very Batman-esque?
Well, I just wanted to bring this book. It's by DC. It's called Batman the Museum, and it's got a nice artwork on the front there. And then when you open it up, it's got little it's got great artwork. First of all, it's kind of awkward to hold, of course, but it's got artwork. It's got the Golden Age Batman, and it covers everything. And it's got little fun stuff in there too, like they put like a Batman Halloween mask. And I mean, everybody's a kid probably dressed up as Batman one time or another, and it's just got all nice stuff. Like they covered the 1966 series of Batman and Robin. But it's a nice book. It came out like 2009, 2010. And if you're a Batman fan, you should try and get it. It's a fun read, and it's interesting. Like I said, it covers everything from the Batman when he first came up until 2009, 2010.
No, that's kick-ass. And again, guys, if you haven't seen it already, check out Joey's put up pictures and he's done videos in some of his collection as well. Definitely check him out. Joey, I don't know if you've seen this. I wanted to show you this because you're a Batman the Animated Series. This is from Diamond Select, and it is Batman the Animated Series, Harvey Dent.
That's how yeah.
He's
I can see it perfect. Yeah,
and it's really nice, and it's number 85 out of 3,000. So that's happy to get.
When did you get that?
Probably about 6-7 years ago. I was in a comic book store called Forbidden Planet, and I picked it up. I have a lot of Batman kind of the McFarlane figures, and I have a 12-inch Harley that I customized. I made, and actually I have more Harleys than I do Batman. So again, I have a big tin for Harley Quinn. So a friend of
You see,
mine.
you said
Oh,
Forbidden Planet. You said you got that in Forbidden Planet. There's a Forbidden Planet in Ireland.
yeah, it's
Oh
it's a
wow.
worldwide. It's a comic book store. They're over your side of the world as well, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I didn't know they had one in Ireland too. They got one in New York City, and it's 2 floors of stuff. But that's cool. They got one in Ireland too. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, worldwide. That's one of my favorites. Also, Joey, hold the fort there 2 seconds. I'll be right back. Okay. If anyone has any Batman questions for Joey, work away there. I'll be right back. Okay. Or Joey, feel free to talk about Batman, rant away, whatever. I'll be right back. 2 seconds.
Okay, he's put me on the spot here. I've been a Batman fan since I was a kid. I grew up with the 1966 reruns with Adam West and Burt Ward. And that was my first take on Batman. And Adam West is my favorite Batman. But I think the 1990s Batman show with Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill, I think that's the best Batman animated series there is. I just loved everything about it. I loved all the villains in there, like the Scarecrow and the Joker. I mean, Mark Hamill was phenomenal as the Joker, and you had Two-Face and the Penguin and all that. All those were great. And my favorite movie Batman is probably going to be Christian Bale. I'm a big Christian Bale fan, so The Dark Knight and Batman Begins. I love those movies, but I do like Michael Keaton a lot too as Batman.
So, would Michael Keaton be your favorite Batman?
Well, my favorite all-time Batman is Adam West, because he's my first Batman that I ever knew. I do like Michael Keaton a lot, but if I had to pick the best movie Batman, I would have to put. I know I'll probably get a lot of slack for this, but I would have to go Christian Bale over Michael Keaton. I do like Batman Returns better than Batman, because I think having Catwoman and and Danny DeVito as the Penguin and Christopher Walken in it. So I kind of like that one better. But my overall favorite movie Batman is Christian Bale. I love Batman Begins and Dark Knight.
Yeah, I know. Bale. I think Bale is a better Bruce Wayne than Batman, though. I don't know, but that's just me. That's just my opinion. I just think he's a bit too growly as the movies go on. He's everybody says. So I'm going to show you something, and Jen has threatened to throw this out. But yeah, no, this is I customized her there. This is my version of Harley, and it's
Wow.
obviously based on the Margot Robbie one. And I give her an AK and stuff, and just so, and it's a Fison, so she can sit and she can just do different poses and stuff. So yeah,
So
that's that.
Margot Robbie is Jen's rival, huh?
Yeah, she as Jen calls her, she's an overrated bitch. But I'm sure she's a lovely lady. It's just Jen. Jen went on about fucking your man Skarsgård from yes, that is a tick, Harley. Jen went on about your man from The Crow, so I'm not going to feel too guilty. She never stopped about that guy from The Crow. But anyway, actually, Joey, who's your favorite villain from all-time favorite Batman villain? And also to the chat, who's your favorite all-time Batman villain?
Well, I do love the way Frank Gorshin plays him on the TV show, the Adam West TV show. But if you're gonna go like the dark comic books, I like the Scarecrow. I just like the way he looks. I like the fear gas. I like how he was a professor and he used his knowledge to create a fear gas to terrify people and make their worst nightmares come true. Like if someone's afraid of spiders or heights, all of a sudden they could be walking down the street and there's 1,000 tarantulas, or someone could be on a curb and it could look like he's on a cliff. I always like the Scarecrow. I think he's a great villain.
I wish they'd given Killian Murphy more to do. He was brilliant when he turned up in the Nolan movies. He kicked
Yes,
ass. I
yes.
wish they'd given him more to do. Um, no, I think Mr. Freeze is a cool bad guy. Oh, Lamona says, I agree, Scarecrow. Larry, what about you? Anyone else in the chat? Yeah, the Batman has the best rogues gallery of any comic book character, I think. And like that's including X-Men.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, because you look at the list. I mean, some of them are just like psychotic. Some of them are just evil, and some of them are just deadly assassins. I love all the guys all the villains that he has. I mean, like if you, Deathstroke, Deadshot, Scarecrow. If you go back to the series, King Tut. I like those villains that are kind of unhinged. You never know what they're going to do. Of course, the Joker's. I think even Stan Lee said that the Joker's the greatest villain of all time.
Oh, we're just deciding. Joey said, um, Joey said the Scarecrow, and I said Mr. Freeze. But Jen, I also, you know how I love Harley Quinn, right? I love you, Harley. The fucking murder me after the stream. Anyway, what was I going to say? But yeah, Joey, why do you think of all the heroes, like Superman has had peaks and valleys of popularity, but Batman has kind of stayed constant? Why do you think that is?
Well, because Batman doesn't have superpowers. He doesn't like when someone is too powerful, it kind of loses its luster a little bit. It's like, okay, someone's robbing a bank, Superman just comes in, scoops him up, throws him in jail. It's all, unless someone happens to have kryptonite on him. Batman has to overcome obstacles to beat his opponents. He's trained his mind to become a detective, and he's trained his body to master every single fighting style there is. He watched his parents get killed, which would traumatize anybody, and to make maybe where they wouldn't be right the rest of their life. That made him stronger. So you always have to respect Batman because he never gives up. He's there till the job is done, and that's why I love about him. And he's just a regular guy, and he's just very smart. I mean, sure, he's got the gadgets and the and maybe the armor of his outfits, but he's just like you, 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 the way he is. He makes himself unbeatable at times, but he does take a beating, and he has his ups and downs, but he just never gives up. That's why I love him.
Do you think his mortality is what makes people identify and appreciate him a lot more? As you were saying, more than Superman, more than all these superpowered beings. He's just a flesh and blood man who has his body and mind at peak perfection, at peak fucking kind of.
Yeah, I mean, a bullet the wrong way, it hits him in the face, he's gonna die. He's not gonna survive that. I mean, Superman or Green Lantern can always put up a shield with his ring. The Hulk, Thor, those guys are gods or superpowered heroes. Batman's just a regular guy that runs around in a suit at nighttime, fighting crime because his parents were killed.
Joey, do you think 100 years from now, when we're all dead and dust, that they'll still be making Batman comics?
Oh yeah, I don't think Batman's that. It may not be the comic book form anymore that we're used to, but it might be something that you could just. I don't know how it would be 100 years from now, of course, but I think Batman is going to be talked about long after we're gone because I mean he's been around for what 80 something years, and he's not going anywhere anytime soon. They're always going to make Batman movies, comics, toys, animated stuff. So I don't think Batman's going anywhere anytime soon, and people are going to be talking about him for years to come.
I think he's a cool character. I think that is one of the cool things as well. The logo you show, like the Batman, like the Superman shield or the Spider-Man symbol, you show this to anyone in the world, they're like Batman. Fucking doesn't matter if it's in fucking Vietnam or fucking Russia or Uzbekistan, they recognize the Batman logo. He's that popular and he's been around that long. Jen says after the stream we have to watch The Crow again because of look, I still love you, babe. I still love you. I love you too. But I Larry, what's Larry said? DC's Iron Man. Larry's saying that Batman's essentially DC's Iron Man, but he still digs him over Iron Man. Yeah, he's pretty cool. Joey, is there any closing thoughts you wanted to talk about or discuss or anything, or you kind of
Well, I'm just
said
happy.
all you have to say, or is there anything else you want to kind of close off with?
Well, I'm just happy. I always got stuff to say, but I'm just happy that you included me in the Batman show, Batman Cape Crusader, and it was fun to talk about these episodes and talk about the character in general because he's such a great character and there's so much to talk about. You could go for hours talking about him, his villains, his allies, what stories you want to see. I mean, he's got tons of great stories. So for you to ask me to come on here and do this with you, I was honored, and I appreciate being on your show because it's always a good time when I come on here with you.
Well, you're a fucking sound out dude, and you're a wealth of knowledge, and you're a fucking salt of the earth bloke to talk to us. So I couldn't have asked for a better person to discuss the show with. I've probably been bouncing all over the gaff on different topics and stuff. I apologize about that. But no, if you haven't checked it out, guys, definitely check out Batman Cape Crusader. It's a great show. It's on HBO Max. If you, I'm sure if you look, you can find it somewhere though. But yeah, no, Batman Cape Crusader, nice throwback to the original animated series, and a throwback to, if you're a Batman fan, there are so many references to new comics, old comics, the movies. Just keep your eyes peeled, and it's an awesome series with an awesome voice cast. As I said, Hamish Linklater from Midnight Mass does Batman, Christina Ricci does Catwoman, Minnie Driver does the Penguin. I'm always bad with names. Joey, who does the other? Some of the other characters, because you were able to name them off there as well. Who does Two-Face and?
Well, Two-Face is Diedrich Bader, who also played Batman. Rupert Thorne is by Cedric Yarborough, who's on the show Reno 911. John DiMaggio plays Bullock, and he's a great voice actor. He's been in tons of cartoons.
The voice of Bender, right?
Yes, and he's been around for a long time. He was pretty sure he was in a couple of Spider-Man cartoons, and he was also in the 1992 Batman, doing different voices too. He's just a very talented guy. But they picked some Julie Chung, like you said, a great voice actress. They picked top-notch voice actors to play these great characters, and I can't think of his name, but the guy who plays Alfred Pennyworth, I thought he was phenomenal too.
I'll just double check. Because yeah, we're professionals on this stream. No, Joey's a professional. I'm not. I'm pulling shit out of my arse at the last. Jason Watkins. Who the fuck is Jason Watkins when he's at home? I don't know. He fucking does a great job anyway, regardless. But yeah, guys, if you haven't checked it out, check out Batman the Cape Crusader and go follow Joey on his socials. He's on Instagram. He's on other stuff. Go check him out. I'll leave links to his Instagram and stuff on the description below. I also want to thank everyone who stopped in as well. First off, obviously, my gorgeous girlfriend. Thanks, babe, for stopping in. The Horror Cat Dad, Larry. We had Creepy McGee. We had Lamona. Always great to have Lamona in. Who else? Tiffany Wears T-shirts. Crip 6 TV. Strange Monkey. I think that's it. Where are you hiding? Is anyone else there? I think that's it. Joey, before I close out, is there anything you want to promote or plug? Or is there any kind of social network or any pictures or stuff you want to showcase or talk about before I go?
Like I said, I'm on Instagram and I'm always posting, action movies. I love classic horror movies like Hammer and Universal. I'm a Carlo Flagosi. I love guys like Chuck Norris and Schwarzenegger and Stallone. I'm always posting stuff like that. I'm on Facebook and I'm on Instagram, and But that's about it. I mean, like I said, I'm a movie guy, and I'm always willing to talk movies with anybody. So if you ever want to talk movies, hit me up. It's cool with me.
Seriously, if you're looking to shoot your shit with someone, you couldn't ask for a better fucking guest. So yeah, guys, I'm gonna finish it off here because I have to explain to my girlfriend why I was salivating over a doll. But remember, be sure to check back in if Jen hasn't killed me. And yeah, good night. Take care, guys. Have a good one. Bye now.